So you're a singer and you want to have a career where you get to use your voice. But everyone around you keeps saying things like,
"What do you think, you're Sabrina Carpenter or something? You're not famous.
Singing is for the famous people."
Or tell me if this one sounds familiar. "Oh, honey, singing is not a real job.
You're not gonna make any money.
You'll be broke. A starving artist.
Sad and miserable for the rest of your life." Look, there are a lot of myths floating around out there about what it takes to make a career as a singer. But the truth is, if you're good at singing, and especially if you're good at recording yourself sing, there are so many opportunities out there for you to make money and grow your success as a singer. I know because I've done it. In fact, singing and being good at working with other vocalists has made me well over $1 million in the last few years without being signed to a major label, without touring, or being a big celebrity. Let me show you exactly how. Okay, I feel really cute about this, but I've got this little presentation for you guys just to make all of this a little easier to follow. So if I had to start out all over again to try to make money as a singer, the first thing I would do is record vocals for hire. So the way this works is there are producers and songwriters out there that write songs, produce songs, but they don't sing themselves. So they need a good vocalist to represent their song. One of the easiest ways to get these kinds of gigs is to get registered with a website that basically connects people who are looking for singers with singers. Sound Better is a really good one. It's been around for over 10 years. I've used it. I've gotten clients on there. And it's not just for singers, right? You can get producers, mixing engineers, everybody there. But yeah, there's a whole category for singers. So, and you can see there's all of these people here who do it a lot. You can tell they do it a lot because they have a lot of testimonials, right? Like this person's got 500, this person got 600. So as you can see, lots of people on here are getting hired to sing. So, and you don't have to be like a social media famous person for this, by the way. Oh, hey, Kappa. I recorded her. Really, what you need is just testimonials. People vouching for you, saying that you're professional, that you're easy to work with, that kind of thing, right? Like if we look at my friend's profile here. Yeah, see, all of this is really, really good. Like all of these 5-star reviews, people raving about her. And the way you start out is obviously you're not going to have any clients yet. So you basically just get your collaborators, people you have recorded for in the past, to write you a testimonial. Like literally just hit up a bunch of people that you've worked with and be like, "Hey, I'm starting this thing on Sound Better. Will you leave me a really nice review?" That's what I did. It worked. And then, I got the people from the website once I was being hired to leave me really nice reviews. So yeah, this one is probably one of the most accessible, easiest to start with on this list. All you need is just to be good at recording yourself. You need some affordable gear. You don't have to have like a crazy setup. And obviously I do want to mention something before we move on. I know AI vocals are a thing now, and there's probably some of you in the comments right now being like, "Oh, no one's gonna hire singers. There's all this AI." Well, as you just saw, there are a lot of singers being hired on Sound Better. I'll tell you why. A lot of these producers and songwriters that are hiring singers, music is a passion for them, right? Like a big part of that passion is getting to work with a singer, somebody really talented with a voice that brings their song to life. There's something really satisfying to them in that process. And I've seen it time and time again where they just get so happy and so excited to hear their song professionally recorded. So yes, even though some people are using AI, some people are always going to want to hire a real singer. And so yeah, depending on the situation, like how many parts it is, what kind of song it is, I've seen people get anywhere from like $250 for like a simple vocal, all the way to about $1,000 for something with, a lot of layers, background harmonies, that kind of thing. All right. And next up, we're going to talk about selling your top lines. For anyone who doesn't know what a top line is, it's basically the song minus the track. So the melody and the lyrics, and of course, a good vocal performance. So there are a few ways to write top lines. Obviously, you can produce a little dummy beat, like a simple beat, and write to it. If you don't produce instrumentally at all, you honestly don't have to, because you can download a loop from something like Splice, for example. Like you literally can just be like song starter loop pop. and you can find something that loops around. Oh, there's one I made. There you go. And you could just find something that fits your idea, loop it around, write a whole song on it. You can also write with one instrument, like if you play guitar or piano. Now, your customers are going to be mostly DJs and producers that are looking to release songs with custom vocals. Very often, those people are artists who release music, but they don't write and they don't sing. Their artistry is the track, the production. A lot of them are also a DJ, like they literally do DJ sets, perform, and they need good, catchy songs with well-recorded vocals that they can build their tracks around. This right here, for example, is a website called Vocalio, and you can see there's people on here selling their acapellas. Yeah, for example, let's take a look at this, right?
Smoke screen, city lights, say that you'll be mine tonight, baby.
So yeah, basically with this, you're gonna get her vocal, you're gonna get the rights to use her songwriting, and this even includes the production stems as well. And what's kind of cool is you can sell those top lines exclusively, like what we just looked at. They were selling it one time, somebody buys that, the end, it's done. Or you can sell one top line for a cheaper fee more times as a non-exclusive license. And I actually had a couple of songs that I did with another artist that she was singing, and she put them on Vocalio, and she would just send me money as like the collaborator because people just kept buying the same top lines over and over again. Now, obviously on Vocalio, we saw people selling stuff for like varying price points. Personally, I would, for an exclusive thing, never do anything under like at least $200 if I were you guys. And to be honest, you can get a lot more if you're really good. Let me play you one I did like years and years ago.
Holding your breath, trying to ready yourself for whatever I'm gonna do. Will I drag you in bed, trying to fix it with sex, or will I tell you I'm done with you? I know I'm complicated, kinda crazy, but will you stay the night? I know it's hard to trust me, but if you let me,
As you can hear, I literally just played some block chords on the piano, wrote a song, recorded it. There's not a lot of layering here. It's not like what I do now with K-pop and, a million harmonies. So pretty simple. I'll be honest, I don't remember the artist's name, but he was an EDM artist. He made like a really cool, like emotional track around this. And I do remember it streamed in like the millions for him. And I want to say he paid me maybe like $2,000 for the rights buyout like years ago. I feel like these days for a song like that, you could get about $5,000. And before we move on to other ways that you can make money as a singer, I just want to clarify something. Although obviously some of these career paths require other skills like songwriting, there are 2 essential skills you absolutely need to hit anything on this list. Those skills are good vocal ability and knowledge of how to get good professional sound when you record yourself. Trust me, even if you're a really incredible live singer, if you struggle to make your vocals sound polished when you record them, you're just not going to be able to take advantage of any of these opportunities. Which is why I have created my brand new pro vocal production course to help singers finally learn how to nail that industry standard sound. Module 1 is going to be all about setting up for success. I will tell you exactly which software and hardware to use, how to set up your home recording space, and I'll give you not 1, but 2 vocal templates that cover everything. Lead vocals, harmonies, dubs, sends, even what to put on your master bus. And one of them uses all free plugins. Module 2 is about vocal technique. This is where I show you exactly how to craft intentional vocal performances. We do not do random vocals here, no honey. In Module 3, I'll show you my favorite techniques for capturing the best performances without running out of juice. Module 4 will teach you how to tune your vocals so that they sound natural and how to clean them up. Module 5 is a massive masterclass on vocal layering. Dubs, harmonies, gang vocals, effects, literally every type of vocal layer you need to know about to create a cool arrangement. And in Module 6, I will show you how to mix it all to sound pro. Every technique in this course is what I personally used and have used on records with like over 100 million streams. And because so many of you guys asked, I have just extended the early access period for the course for 1 more week. I'll have a link for you in the description. All right, another really good way to make money as a singer is to sell a vocal sample pack. So Obviously, there's Splice. Most of you guys know Splice. I have a couple of packs on here. This is my older one. I think it came out 2019. This one came out 2023. And yeah, this is not all vocals, but it does have a lot of vocals. There are also other platforms that are looking for sample packs. I've been actually asked to make packs for them, but I couldn't because I was exclusive with Splice at the time. For example, there's lander.com. They do a lot of really cool things. They have mastering, they sell plugins, but yeah, they also have samples. BandLab, they also have their own sample packs as well. And of course, you can also sell samples like directly on your own website. I actually have a sample pack that I sell on my own. It's called Must Have Pop. This one is not vocals, but people do really enjoy it. They buy it, and I don't have to go through like a third party. Now, there are a couple of ways to go when it comes to creating a vocal sample pack. For example, you can make almost like a top lines sample pack. So like this right here, you can basically take like 10 different top lines, chop them into bits, you know, a verse or like even half a verse, chorus, half a chorus, and then all of these different pieces of your top lines, you can sell them as samples. I see this all the time on all these platforms. And this again is like good for DJs, producers. You can also do shorter vocal phrases, so like hooks. For example, many of you will be familiar with this sample because it's been used in like at least 2 really prominent K-pop songs. So yeah, this is from my pack. And this kind of thing is really great because it basically gives songwriters and producers a great jump off point to build their song from. Also, you could just do like vocal effects, like one shots. Okay, like this kind of thing, right? That is literally more like an effect, like a texture to layer in a track. Something like that. Or just a little simple yeah like that. Yeah, producers, myself included, use this type of stuff a lot just to add hype, texture, sonic interest to the track. You get it. Now, as far as the kind of money that you can make from something like this, I've heard some varied numbers. I have friends whose sample packs didn't do that well. I have friends whose sample packs made them $500,000. I would say on average, I make about $3,500 to $5,000 every quarter from Splice. So every 3 months, they send me like a check. And that level of income usually lasts for, I would say 2 to 4 years from the time the pack comes out. From my own sample pack that I've sold on my website, I've so far made about $7,000. And this is considering I've barely like pushed this pack at all. It's more like a product people buy along with my production course. So I think if that's the type of business you want to focus on, you can do like way better. Okay, and I know a lot of you are gonna ask me in the comments, how do you get a pack on something like Splice or Lander? How do you contact them for that? My answer is, it's better if they contact you, and the way to get them to contact you is to build yourself up on social media, which leads to our next income stream. We all know social media, know it, love it, hate it. Every artist now is pretty much encouraged to, you know, promote their music on TikTok and other short form platforms. I am not here to tell you to get on TikTok and post car videos where you play your song for your friend. I'm here to tell you that if you're clever about it, you actually can make money singing on social media. So first of all, there's what social media platforms pay you themselves from ad revenue. I'll show you guys a variety of things here. So obviously this video right here has 1.4 million views on TikTok. I've earned a little over $1,000 on it. This video has 460,000 views. I've earned about $160 on it. Don't ask me how they calculated. I really don't know. You know, here's a smaller video, 22,000 views, it's made $6. YouTube Shorts does not pay anywhere near as well as TikTok Creator Program. Here's the exact same short form video I showed you first, the one with 1.4 million. So it actually has the exact same views on YouTube Shorts, but it's earned $270, which is a lot less than it did on TikTok. Now, I'm not trying to discourage you guys with this because obviously that's not like a lot. And obviously if you're a much bigger creator, your numbers will look a lot better. But as like a smaller to mid-sized creator, honestly, the way to make the real money is through brand deals. I've done a good amount of brand deals in the last 4 to 5 years. I think when I first started to do them, it was on YouTube and I probably had about 10,000 subscribers. and I would get like $300 to $500 for a video. The highest amount for a brand deal I've gotten so far has been $12,000. So it's a big range. Usually it's a lot more like in the middle of that. And obviously as a singer, you can work a lot with audio companies, people who make headphones, microphones, plugins, things like that. Although I've done non-music products as well. All right, next income stream is gonna be film TV sync. So I'm sure most of you guys are aware, this is a thing. When there's a song being played in a TV show, commercial, or a movie, more often than not, the production company that makes those things have to pay for that music. And since there's a ton of shows and commercials and games made all the time, there is a lot of opportunity there. Obviously, this isn't just for singing. You have to write the song. It has to also have a nice instrumental, be mixed well. To be honest though, a professional vocal is like half the battle here. What I recommend if you're a top liner singer, if you don't make tracks, is that you just find one person to team up with that does make tracks and mixes. If it's just you two, you can be splitting your profits 50-50, which is not bad at all. Now, when your song gets put into a TV show, commercial, etc., it is called a sync placement. The way you get them is by working with a sync company. What I recommend is that you guys create a catalog of songs that sound really like industry level, like professional, and then you can just Google sync companies and, you know, hit them up with your catalog. And as far as what you can hope to earn, this like really varies. I think the biggest sync placement I've gotten was like $180,000. Not just for me, for the whole team, but it is huge. That was for one of my well-known K-pop songs being used in a makeup commercial. A lot of the other syncs I've gotten were a lot more modest. I think the lowest I've ever gotten was maybe around $1,000, like $1,200, something like that. They're usually more like between $2,000 and $7,000. And that's the whole fee covering publishing rights and mastering. And since we're talking about film and TV, I also wanted to touch on voice acting, but not like spoken voice acting, but specifically sung. There are actually quite a bit of opportunities out there for animated shows and games that have characters that sing. So anytime that happens, they need a real singer to voice that character. I know from experience, they do not rely on AI. That is a really huge risk to take for those companies that, you know, could get major backlash for using AI instead of hiring a real person. So they most of the time will hire real people. For example, one of my best friends, Ellie, she voiced Barbie in this movie, Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures, on Netflix. She's also voicing another animated character, which I can't even talk about yet. These opportunities can pay really well. From what I've seen, like $5,000 to $10,000 per song. Plus, it's really cool to hear your song, your voice performed by an animated character. And the way I've seen people attract those opportunities is like twofold. So obviously there's like traditional networking, right? You know, another singer, they do that kind of work. They get asked to audition for a character, their voice doesn't fit, they pass it on to you. I've seen that happen. Or what you can do, something that's a little bit more in your control, is through posting content. Specifically content that shows off that you can sing with different voices. Once again, I'm gonna show you guys my friend Ellie. These are the types of videos that she does that show her ability to kind of like change up her voice, take on different styles.
I'm gonna show you a few different ways she could have sang it and compare to her version at the end.
All that time I sat alone in my tower, you were just holding your powers, now I can see it all. All that time I sat alone in my tower, you were just holding your powers, now.
Cool, huh? She's really talented. And okay, along these same lines, another way to get paid as a singer is as a ghost singer. I'm sure most of you guys know what that is. You're basically an uncredited singer, a voice that appears in a song, but nobody knows. Now, one thing you can specifically do is perform as a background singer. I know several people who do that for well-known artists because those artists are usually very busy. They don't have time to record their own background vocals, and they do very well because they get upfront fees and they get royalties on the back end. I don't do this myself, so I don't know the exact numbers, but from what I've seen though, if the songs have like, you know, 100 million streams or more and your voice as a background singer's on it, as far as royalties, you can expect to see like in the thousands. And okay, I know some of y'all are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but there is an emerging job within Go Singing that has to do with AI. So one thing you can do is basically contribute your voice to ethical AI products. For example, there's one called Metamorph. This is from Antares. It's the same people that make Autotune. And yeah, if you watch and read about this, what they have done is they have hired singers to sample their voices and, create AI voices. Everybody was paid, everybody's credited. So, that is an opportunity if you don't mind your voice becoming available for other people to sing with. On the opposite end of this, there are artists, like well-known people out there that don't really sing that well. So what those artists do these days, a lot of the times, they have their voice sampled and turned into an AI model, and then they can hire somebody like you, a good singer, to be source material. So you would sing their song, do all the inflections, do a great vocal, and then their voice is put on an AI filter, and it sounds like them. You guys can debate the ethics of that in the comments if you want. I'm just here to report on how you can make money as a singer. And finally, I saved the most lucrative method for last. This is how I consistently made $150,000 to $300,000 a year before I ever had a hit song or started doing social media. And it's so simple. It's vocal production. It's recording other people sing, because despite all of my efforts here and me trying to educate singers on how important it is to know how to record yourself, most people still don't and won't. So there's a ton of singers out there who can sing well live, but they have no ability, no skills to make themselves sound great on a recording. And that's where you can come in. So just to kind of run through everything I did as a vocal producer when I was doing that as my full-time gig, I would of course record the artist sing. We would do lead vocals first, and that would usually be one session. I would then spend a day editing their vocals, usually melodyne, really, really intricate tuning, editing, rhythm editing. Then we would do another day to arrange their vocals, so ad-libs, background harmonies, things like that. Very often with newer singers, even if their leads sound really good, they didn't really have skills to harmonize, they just couldn't find the right pitches. So very often I would sing their dubs, their harmonies, all the extra layers would be me. Then after all of that, we would usually do a day of recuts. So anything they didn't love how they sounded on, we would do another day to try to capture it again. And then after that, I would do all the vocal mixing, processing, all of that. A lot of work, which is why I got paid very well. And you can as well. Yeah, even back in 2019, when I was heavily doing this, I was probably charging $2,500 to $5,000 per song, depending on what else I was doing too. And I had so many artists that just kept coming back because, they might try another producer and then they would realize, oh, I don't sound anywhere near as good as I do over with Alina. And then they would come back and then keep coming back for years. So I had a lot of clients and I was very, very booked. And even though I don't really do that now, I've moved on to writing K-pop, doing social media, other things, I still think that's the steadiest, most safe way to continuously make good money as somebody who knows and understands singing. And honestly, I do not think this is a job that's going to be taken by AI, because there is always going to be real people who want to sing, who want to record their real voice. And there's gonna need to be somebody there to help them do that. So that was it, you guys. I really hope this video helps some of you singers out there know that you have prospects. You're not gonna be broke and living at home for the rest of your life if you just choose the right lane for you. Please let me know if there's other things that you do as a singer to earn some income that I may have just not thought of. I'd love to hear about it. And of course, just as a reminder, my vocal production course is on sale for one more week. I'm doing a huge launch sale and then it's gone. So make sure you take a look at that link in the description. And if you need a little bit more help, I have another video right here that I think you'll really enjoy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.